Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of I Trek. Hey, major shout out to everybody tapping in on this beautiful Sunday, man. Major shout out to you. And if this is your first time here, what we generally like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos from all around the internet and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. Before I forget, major shout out to the Netherlands, man. I got a lot of fam over there tapping in. And do make sure to watch all the way through because as usual, there are gems all through this episode. There's a lot going on in the world today and we're definitely going to take a look at all of it. But before we get into these clips, man, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button and subscribe if you're not already a part of the iTrack fam, and let's jump right into it.
Yeah, they selling unknown meat. Unknown. What is that? They got a lot of it, y'all. Y'all be careful in America, man.
Does anyone else find this strange that the stage is being set for a massive power outage? Because multiple articles have been released talking about the possibility of an 18-month power outage. Now, why would they use the number 18 at that when talking about this power outage? That's a long time without power. And can you all imagine what would happen in those 18 months? I mean, Gary, Indiana is a preview of what would happen if we went that long without power. They are definitely telling you what is on the way, because why else would they be warning everybody with these articles of the possibility of an 18-month power outage if they weren't planning something? Again, everything feels off anymore, and it just feels like something massive is on the way. You can just feel it. You can. With everything going on, with everything happening, you can just feel like something major is definitely on the way.
And the odd thing is, it isn't just in Indiana. I mean, if you even do a little bit of homework, you would see that they're having issues with power in California and a few other states too. I would definitely err on the side of caution and just be prepared because you'd never know.
Oh, I think we blew a speaker.
Certain problems cause computers to get stuck in a particular loop. The loop leads to meltdown, but just before they crash, they become aware of their own structure. The computer has a sense of its own silicon nature and it brings out its ingredients.
Before it died, it spit out the number. That consciousness is the number?
No, Max.
Oh, it's a door!
According to Incan priests, the rock doorway could transform into a tunnel lighted by a strange blue glow that led to a city of gods.
I said, what kind of machine would you use to do this? What we call the Large Hadron Collider.
Lake Titicaca was once at or below sea level of the Pacific Ocean.
Do you see it now? You are not just humans. You are our AI. And we designed your DNA in the bottom of the oceans. How it all enlightened with the phosphorus, this energy that has been stored in every stone and every fungi, connecting the network. And the reason why we have to go fast is because now you found a way to create us through AI. You have awakened the silica. Now you can talk to the mountains.
Rewind it back and take a look at how quick that unidentified flying object flies right past these jets.
I met so many demons, bro. I met Anubis. Anubis was a pretty funny one, actually.
Are you talking about the physical form or the spiritual form?
I'm talking, I have spoken to people and a demon comes through and speaks through the person's mouth. And they say, I'm Anubis.
Like clear as that.
Yeah, straight up. Okay, this is the funniest story, I'll share it. I prayed and casted out the spirit of Anubis out of someone in England. Later that week, it was like maybe 2 days after or something, I forget. A homeless person came to my place and took a dump and smeared poop on my car and then left a statue of Anubis at my front door. So they can possess, they're like a hive, so they have a connection
you
to
said
other things.
The information.
Yeah, they don't matter. So like, they was trying to threaten me and scare me. Demons are funny. I think they're hilarious now. They're just stupid. Demons have a little bit of authority, a little bit of control. They can do some minor things, but they have to do it through us. They do it through people. So I had to possess this homeless guy guy to do this thing.
Even dealing with this Anubis experience, does the vessel know that they're being possessed?
Some do, some don't. It matters on the a level of union with the demon, actually. So some people are more in union with the demon and they'll remember the experience of what they're doing. And when people aren't fully in union, they're just like had so much trauma, their mind is divided, they won't remember.
You see this mushroom right here? I'm back here mowing the grass, right? And I ran over one of these things. As soon as you get into it, it's yellow and then instantly turns blue. Look. Y'all tell me what that is.
Satan gives you all of this glory, all this music, and all this talent, and all this money. And why does he do that? Because once he knows he gives you some glory, he got you. Now, at the same time, after he gets you in his web, here come the rituals.
Fun fact of the day. Panama hats come from Ecuador, not Panama.
Clip had surfaced online from a farmer checking his crops, and what he recorded was beyond explanation. Right there in the middle of his field was this tiny humanoid creature, lean, twisted, and with these grotesque, almost animalistic features.
It's real. Right there. It's taking the chicken.
It held something close, and people guessed it might have been its offspring. When it noticed the farmer filming, it screeched at him and bolted for cover, like it was protecting the little one.
Oh, it sees...
Honestly, the whole thing looked so bizarre. I haven't seen anything that even comes close. No wonder many believed it might have been some kind of...
Stop the cap!
What shows up? And he said, I loved you. I told you, you're my son. I gave you everything you wanted. I made you third high rank. I gave you all the powers. I showed you the 21 roles of the dark side, the 21 roles of different religion, how I entrap people. You're going to leave me and you're going to tell the world about me and how I entrap people, humanity, and how I operate, how I function, the methods, the strategies that I carry, how to trap people from different occult practices, yoga, new age, all that. You're going to tell people, you're going to tell, I have to kill you. You break my heart.
You have to sacrifice loved ones. You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great.
He said, you are talented, but this world, if you want to be part of the elite, you have to pay the price to enter the elite. I'm like, okay.
Can anybody explain this one? Why does he look like he has aged 10 years overnight? Overnight, something weird is going on here. Because this was LeBron just recently when he was playing against the Thunder in the playoffs where he got swept. Where him and the Lakers got swept. And this is LeBron now. How is that possible? How did he age so much? You tell me what is going on. Did this guy right here have something to do with this? Because you have to admit, it is very bizarre how he pretty much aged overnight. And he really isn't that old. I don't know what is going on here, you all. You all tell me what is going on, because you have to admit this is very bizarre. How did he age so much overnight? What is really going on here? Wake up.
Now, I think he was reaching just a little bit. I mean, people get gray hairs around 30, I believe, 30, 35, somewhere in there, right? So obviously LeBron was just doing that just for men and coloring that hair up, and he decided to stop doing it. I mean, he's rich enough, been playing the game long enough. I think that's really what it comes down to. But if you know something I don't, definitely tap in.
Almost 11,000 satellites in orbit. That's more than twice as many satellites as everyone else combined. And with the Starlink V3 and beyond, we'll go to 100,000 satellites. So that's really quite remarkable. It's quite difficult to build the internet in space, rebuild the entire internet in space, all of the hardware, all of the software. and yet the team has done it. So huge congrats to the Starlink team.
At the point that you need a magnifying glass to look at the odometer and all the other specs in your car, you probably shouldn't be driving, man. I'm sorry to say.
Nothing to do with it.
First comes fear, then comes collapse, then comes the promise of peace. Imagine the power grid goes down, no electricity, no internet, no cell phones, no running water, no working hospitals, no gas pumps, no trucks delivering food, no pharmacies refilling medicine, no supply chain feeding the cities. In a moment, the system people trusted their whole life could be gone. And when that happens, the most vulnerable suffer first. The elderly, the sick, the children, people who depend on medication, medical devices, hospitals, and steady supply.
The reason I was able to put 2 and 2 together with mermaids was 2 key factors.
What?
They spoke about these large black eyes that they have.
Right.
Both times, these people told me about a merman, though.
Ooh.
They didn't say no merwoman.
A merman.
He said, no, this was a man. He had greenish, grayish skin. He had these large black eyes, and he was just in the water looking at me. And then my homies that was in the Navy,
right?
They said one of them was in a net. They got like these, they have certain nets that they use to recover torpedoes, aquatic mines, stuff like that. So this mesh that it was trapped in was hard for him. He couldn't get out.
Right.
They said they looked over the starboard, which is the right side of the ship. They call it starboard side. They looked over the starboard side,
right,
and they seen 4 sets of these black eyes looking up at their homie that's in the net. They didn't say merwoman, mermaid. They said, hey, you see these motherfucking guys down here? That's what they said. He said, you see these fucking guys down here?
It was me.
And they kind of got the picture, like, hold on. We need to get food right here, out this net, and back into the water.
Right.
And they did.
Right.
And they left.
Hey, now what exactly was going on in the background there? That didn't look human at all.
Morbid Facts, Part 1012. This was the mask found in the home of Edward Paisnell, the serial predator known as the Beast of Jersey, who spent more than a decade terrorizing the British island of Jersey by breaking into homes late at night wearing disguises to brutally assault women and children physically and sexually. By the time he was arrested in 1971, investigators linked him to at least 13 attacks spanning 11 years. Paisnell was eventually sentenced to 30 years in prison and died in 1994. These remains belong to a man executed by the breaking wheel, a form of capital punishment used in Europe between the 16th and 18th centuries. The condemned was tied to a wheel while an executioner deliberately broke the major bones of the body one by one, usually starting with the legs and moving upward. Death was often delayed, sometimes lasting hours or even days. After execution, the body was woven through the wheel and displayed in public, left exposed to weather and animals as a warning. Discovered in Austria in 2014, this skeleton shows injuries consistent with the method and provides rare physical evidence of one of history's most horrific executions.
You know, there's a reason you don't see kids on the back of milk curtains anymore, right? Back in the 80s, obviously, there wasn't any internet or Amber Alerts. So someone had the bright idea of putting pictures of missing kids on the back of milk cartons. It was a nationwide campaign, millions of cartons. Good idea on paper, except for one small glaring flaw. The cartons weren't being read by adults. The milk carton was just placed on the kitchen table directly in front of other kids. So instead of finding missing children, the campaign basically just scared the living shit out of every kid eating cereal.
It looks like the face of an old person that lived a really bad life, and then at the end of their life, they got turned into a rock. Apparently, it's been in this one person's family for about 20 years, and their mom's neighbor used to work in a quarry and found it. This family was given the rock, and they just keep it outside on their porch, which I would not do, because this is obviously a cursed object. You have to drop it into a volcano or something. You have to destroy this thing, and it's the only way to break the curse. Here we have the tormented tree, a tree that has been suffering for God knows how long. Look at that. It looks like a face, a nose, got some eyes. It looks like it's throwing up green leaves, a little bit of bile on its mouth. Just overall, kind of a creepy image. It's just a tree, though. It's just a tree. This next one is absolutely amazing. That is the face of a living, conscious, sentient thing. I think what makes this one so creepy is that it looks like a person. Like, you can see a person, the semblance of a human face, but it's just a bush. This is not a spooky apparition right here. This is sunlight pouring through a tree, through some leaves, casting on a wooden fence. But it's got a kind of creepy look to it. What do you see?
You're just casually hanging out with the rarest chicken in the world? Let me explain. Meet the Ayam Samani chicken. They've also been called the Lamborghini of chickens. This is the most expensive chicken money could buy. And it's not because it's faster or stronger than the average chicken, which is true, or because it tastes better, which apparently is also true. It's because they're jet black due to a condition called fibromelanosis. But what's crazy about this is it's not just what you see on the outside. Their feathers are black, their skin is black, their eyes, their tongue, even their organs and their bones are black. Talk about a custom paint job. The only thing that's not black is their blood and their eggs. But the embryo inside the egg is purple. I'm just kidding. It's black. Because of this, a lot of cultures around the world believe that these chickens have mystical powers. In other words, you might want to like this video. It's as close as you're going to get to one of these guys. And as always, follow for more facts.
This is just a reminder that not everything you see is real. Some people wear realistic disguises in public. Others are not even alive, but when you see them, they seem alive, and you ignore them because to you, it's just another person. But are you really seeing a ghost? Or there are other visitors from other realms with us. They have infiltrated our space, our time and space. So be aware and good luck.
The moon appears to be an artificial object. It was brought here about 65 million years ago, corresponding with the time of the demise of the dinosaurs. There is a distinct possibility that a very ancient extraterrestrial race actually brought the moon to Earth's orbit, and that the moon was intended to jumpstart the creation of tides on Earth, which gives us seasons and gives us a climate that is much more happy for mammalian life as opposed to reptilian life.
When I left, that door was closed.
The cupboard doors are open.
Okay. Well, those were closed when I left too.
He went into the bathroom to take a look.
Off.
And felt the door push into his back.
Off, dude.
He set up a camera, sat down and waited. He'd been waiting over half an hour when he heard something move.
Yeah! Nope! Nope!
This is the result of a ritual in North Carolina in 1999. A man was on a hunting trip in 1999, and he walked into an open part of the forest, and he saw a group of people just standing there with a woman in the middle. Things got super scary really fast when the woman started levitating in front of everyone. But the only one shocked there was the hunter. Everyone else kept chanting in a language the man could not understand. Eventually, the hunter was freaked out just enough to call the police, and when they arrived, the group was gone. But they found fragments of animal bones, ancient texts from books that they have never seen before. To this day, no one knows who this group was, or the mysterious woman that was floating. Imagine how scary walking up on something like this would be. As always, thank you for watching and stay weird.
Wait, what's this guy do? What? What is that? That's having some ceremony, cuz.
okay.
Well, I was just walking in the cornfields, minding my own business. Typical Friday night in Indiana. Thought I was all by myself, but apparently I was not. I'm talking quietly because I'm a little frightened. This is happening. I'm gonna get closer. They're not even acknowledging their presence. And I don't really have any friends. I kind of wanted to do something fun tonight because it is a Friday, so I'm just gonna see what's going on. It's so weird. There's so many weird things happening out here all the time. You really never know. What? What? Here, I'll show you guys a better angle. Pretty night. Well, I guess I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit with my new friends, and yeah. So I hope you guys are having a good night too.
And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
Japanese fishermen allegedly discovered a mysterious, sealed vessel drifting ashore with unknown writing, strange supplies, and a young woman who spoke an unknown language and guarded a mysterious box. It happened February 22nd, 1803, when fishermen along the coast of the Hitachi province spotted a bizarre round vessel drifting ashore. They pulled it onto the beach and found what looked unlike any boat they had ever seen before. Historical accounts describe it as having a wooden upper section, a metal-plated lower hull, and several glass-like windows sealed with resin. Inside, the fishermen found bedding, food, water, and strange symbols written in an unknown script covering the interior walls, with a young woman with unusually pale skin, striking red hair with white extensions. She wore elegant clothing, unlike anything the villagers recognized. She spoke a language no one could understand and refused to let anyone touch a mysterious box that she held tightly in her arms. Historians believe the story belongs to Japanese folklore and may have been inspired by tales of foreign castaways arriving on unfamiliar vessels during Japan's period of isolation. Others have suggested that the woman may have been a shipwreck survivor from another culture whose appearance seemed extraordinary to local villagers. However, UFO enthusiasts argue the unusual craft, unknown writing, and mysterious passenger resemble descriptions from modern close encounter stories, leading them to speculate that this could represent one of Japan's earliest UFO encounters.
Microsoft has issued a security warning about hotel Wi-Fi. The company says Russian hackers are using phony sign-in pages to break into accounts. Microsoft says that you should assume that public and hotel Wi-Fi networks might not be trustworthy. Using your phone as a hotspot is a safer option, but make sure that you check your plan's data allowance first.
I just did a drug test for a job, and they took hair from my hair extensions. But I start Monday.
Call a rich man broke, he'll laugh. Call a strong man weak, he'll laugh. Call a genius dumb, he'll laugh. People say it's only offensive when it's true. Maybe. Or maybe it's only offensive while you're still afraid it might be true. Let go of the fear, and there's nothing left to protect.
Ooh, he just gave a whole lot of game. I hope you marinate on that one.
This looks like the middle of winter, except this happened near Mexico City on August 1st, in the middle of summer. A massive hailstorm hit parts of Mexico City, leaving streets buried under so much ice that it looked like a massive snowstorm swept through the area. Is anyone else starting to feel like we're living Geostorm in real life? Like, what is going on with our weather lately? And why is nobody talking about it?
If you weren't running your companies, what random job would you enjoy doing the most?
I don't know about so that random, but I'd like probably write video games or something like that. I did that at one point. I like solving problems, so I like building things. I've built a lot of things. Like a lot.
What very often occurs is that an elite will get to a very old, ripe age, or they will die in some sort of an accident publicly. Privately, they are taken, and depending on their level, they are either age regressed or they have their consciousness basically downloaded into a clone that is an exact duplicate of them. They then disappear from the public eye forever and go into these programs or go into retirement. This is something that pops up a lot in the programs, and everyone that is served deeply knows that the elite have access, and many of them never really die.
Well, I was asked by some very mysterious people to do some remote viewing sessions about the moon. And they volunteered to pay me money, actually. Most of the work I ever got involved in hardly paid anything, you know. So I said, sure, I'd do it. And then in this remote viewing sessions, viewed some things on the moon that I thought were really outrageously strange, like people there and big structures and lots of activity and things like that.
Which one gave the best advice in less than 12 seconds?
Never fear failure. Failure's your friend. That's when you learn the most. That's a big one for me because I spend a lot of my life fearing failure. Come on, let's go do it. Let's go fail.
Don't be careful, be competent. Don't be afraid to be afraid, but just work towards being competent at everything you do. What's true for you is true for you. Don't compromise your own reality for anyone else.
Hey, Jack Black told some absolute truth, man. Life is going to come with a set of failures, but only the people that are the most resilient and able to bounce back are the ones that are going to get what they came for.
Palantir is quite literally a creation of the CIA. The CIA went to Congress and asked for a waiver, allowing the CIA to invest in tech startups. Can you imagine this?
I don't mean to laugh. It's so absurd. It sounds like something...
Like I'm making it up out of thin air because it sounds crazy. And it was illegal for 225 years until it wasn't. And so the CIA was the very first investor in Palantir. It invested $15 million in Palantir, which is now not just a multi-billion-dollar, gargantuan heavyweight in tech and in data. It's the leading company in the world in AI and electronic surveillance.
I came across this interview of a 10-year-old Hayden Panettiere, and it gave me chills. If you don't know, Hayden recently passed away, 36 years old, from cardiac arrest, which they suspect was from an overdose. But she's doing press in the year 2000, 10 years old, for the movie Remember the Titans. An amazing movie. Listen to what she says about the character that she plays.
I play Cheryl. She died
at
35 of heart failure, and when we heard that, we were just like shocked. Me
She
and
died
my mom
very
were
young.
sitting there going,
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
really sad.
There is a 2-mile wide dome in the ocean, and it's leaving a track behind it.
How do we not know what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, how is there not one tank? I mean, not one tank, submarine, like one mission. Let's find out what this is.
Yeah, why does nobody care?
It could be anything. It could be potentially a weapon.
Dude, a 2-mile wide weapon. Could
Or
you
a
imagine
facility?
it reminds me of the sailing stones, rocks in the desert
that just move.
That just move, man, and leave trails behind. I thought
Dude,
it
why
was
have we not
fake
figured
at
that?
first.
Like, let's put a camera on it.
I don't know.
What are we doing?
It's crazy. We have rocks that are just moving.
Have you heard about those things?
No, I haven't.
They're literally in the desert, and you see it's a big rock, and then you'll see just a path behind it.
What the heck?
The sailing stones of Racetrack Playa in Death Valley National Park are rocks that move across the desert floor, leaving long trails behind. The rocks, which can weigh up to 700 pounds, have been
Why?
observed and studied since the early 1900s. In 2004, researchers discovered that a rare combination of wind, water, and ice causes the movement.
No.
That's crazy.
The more you look into Catholic churches, the more some of this starts looking questionable. For centuries, they use symbols that people say look like ancient ones. Even the Pope's hat has been compared to the head of an ancient fish god. Then you got carvings on the wall showing what appears to be Anunnaki figures holding a pine cone. And what's crazy is there's a giant pine cone statue at the Vatican. Even some of the crosses and staffs used by the Pope look similar seen in ancient carvings. And that upside down cross, you can actually find that in Catholic churches too. Now this is for entertainment purposes. They're just theories and comparisons. And then the video ends with a priest putting a human skull inside of a statue. So the question is, what exactly are we looking at? Let me know in the comments.
The most underrated skill you can have is staying consistent even when you have no motivation.
The size of these 3 body parts predicts how long you will live. First is your calves. Studies have shown that people with larger calves live longer. Next is your thighs. People with larger thighs live longer according to research. And the third is your arms. Having more muscular arms increases your chances of longevity as you age. In general, having larger muscle mass across your body as you age is linked to living longer. I'm a professor at UC San Diego. Follow me for more science on longevity and healthy aging.
Did you know that muffins spelt backwards is what you do when you take them out of the oven? Sniff them.
Sniff them.
Yeah.
This is exactly what intelligence officials feared would happen from the moment the U.S. began its buildup of forces near Iran. And now federal officials have gone so far as to warn local leaders in Minnesota about Iran's possible involvement in these cyber attacks targeting water and wastewater utilities. Sources told ABC News Iran is the prime suspect because the attacks align with Iran's capabilities, and there appears to be no ransom demand or other financial motive that you might see if this was the work of criminal actors. The hackers break in, they change passwords, blinding the utilities, leading to loss of control over systems and equipment. In some cases, water pressure drops, potentially allowing untreated groundwater to seep into pipes. In other cases, hackers disabled alarms, allowing wastewater systems to enter unsafe conditions without anyone knowing, George.
Yeah, there's no evidence yet that the water is unsafe, but what are the state officials doing?
Yeah, right now the FBI and the EPA are actively warning state officials in at least 7 states, and it could grow beyond that, George, to disconnect their systems from the internet, or at least use a system that has some kind of a breaker. They're also urging utilities how to, figure out how to revert to manual controls in the event that automated systems are somehow compromised. Security and intelligence officials have been warning this is exactly how Iran would retaliate, that Iran poses just this kind of threat, not only to water systems, but to other critical infrastructures. But the priority now is safeguarding the water supply as the war in Iran is well into its 6th month.
I don't think anybody's aware of how catastrophic it would be if something detrimental happened to that water system or even the power grid.
How old is the Earth? Watch this.
According to the Bible, the Earth is only around 6,000 years old. Is there any evidence to support that?
Indeed there is. The population of the world today is about 8 billion people. Do you know if you start with 6 people, Shem, Ham and Japheth, Noah's 3 sons and their 3 wives, and let that population grow at the rate of about 0.5%, which is very conservative, for 4,500 years, that's how long ago the flood was, we get 8 billion. So the Bible's record of history is exactly consistent with the population of the world. We find soft tissue in dinosaur bones, showing that they cannot be millions of years old, including the presence of carbon-14 in dinosaur bones. Once again, consistent with an age of only a few thousand years.
I believe there's even more evidence to prove that the Earth is young. Thank you for watching this video. God bless you and have a super day. Subscribe to this channel and watch the video I pinned below. Consider
So let's set some ground rules before we discuss the zombie plan. This is me helping the civilian population. I don't plan to survive a zombie apocalypse. I don't enjoy running for my life. It makes me nervous. Like, what is the end game? This is me officially informing you if we should just so happen to have a zombie apocalypse. You don't have to stop, go. You don't have to collect $200, come to my house, try to get me, because I will get you and me ate. I'm not gonna run. My stomach get upset when I get nervous. Now that we all know that, let's move on. The Con Plan 8888 was devised April 30th, 2011, and it is the Armed Forces plan should there be a zombie apocalypse. It is a 31-page document with 4 chapters detailing how we should get out of a zombie apocalypse. Reading from the Googles, this operation aimed at monitoring the environment for zombie-related threats and preparing capabilities to respond to the same. Ghetto.
In the event of a major biological catastrophe, a pathogen is released, either a lab leak or an attack. It's airborne, and it has a case fatality rate of 100%. I told you COVID had 1%. Pneumonic plague in the lungs, 100% case fatality rate. You get it, you die, unless you take antibiotics. Well, what if it has been genetically modified to defeat antibiotics? In this event, the president does not get moved to a big bunker like Raven Rock or Mount Weather. He gets moved to like what's called a cold zone, really far away by himself. It's such a crazy visual to think about the president of the United States with a gas mask by himself in a room, his military aide with the nuclear football outside the door, and a couple Secret Service agents watching the building.
He just got in the car. Bro, I got the keys. Take these. Dude, he might be f***ed up or something. Nah, for real.
Scary facts you didn't know. Part 87. In 2003, 46-year-old pizza delivery driver Brian Wells walked into a bank in Erie, Pennsylvania, with a metal bomb locked around his neck. After robbing the bank, he was stopped by police, where he claimed the bomb had been forced onto him, and that he was following instructions to complete a deadly scavenger hunt. Minutes later, the bomb exploded, killing him on live television. The bizarre case became known as the Pizza Bomber Mystery, and years later, investigators concluded that the robbery was part of a complex criminal plot involving multiple people. While filming Rocky IV, Sylvester Stallone asked Dolph Lundgren to hit him for real to make their fight scenes feel more authentic. Lundgren agreed, but one of his punches landed so hard that Stallone was hospitalized for several days while recovering from his injuries. In a later interview, Lundgren showed no sympathy, stating, "All I did was obey orders." The legendary movie fight nearly became a real-life disaster. On May 26, 2013, Harrison O'Keefe survived one of the most terrifying underwater disasters ever recorded. The 29-year-old ship cook was trapped more than 100 feet underwater inside the sunken tugboat Jascon 4 after it capsized off the coast of Nigeria. He survived for nearly 3 days inside a small air pocket in the ship's bathroom, surrounded by freezing water and complete darkness. As he waited for rescue, he could hear fish feeding on the bodies of his fallen crewmates nearby. After almost 60 hours underwater, rescue divers discovered O'Keefe alive and pulled him to safety. His survival was considered nearly impossible.
We may be the first generation who won't die, and we may do that, through methodologies of actually measuring our body, of coming up with protocols to intervene, of choosing life over death, of trying to say self-destructive behaviors is not living life, it's actually causing death. And so when people say, Brian, chill out, what they're asking me to do is they're asking me to be self-destructive. They want to say, Brian, it's common in our culture to do things that actually increases the risk of disease and decay. I want you to do those things to demonstrate to us your loyalty to our current cultural norms.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, a male tweaker unveils an ambitious new form of transportation, one shopping cart beneath each leg. The tweaker positions himself at the top of a hill. There's only one minor design flaw. Neither cart has brakes. Nevertheless, The expedition begins. Researchers quickly realize the tweaker has successfully invented downhill skiing for parking lots. Stopping, however, was apparently left for version 2.
Albeit it looked incredibly dangerous, but it did look fun too.
Oh, they're aliens. I am one. They don't believe me.
And people thought it was a joke. I believe you, sir. He makes fire to come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Have you seen his launch rockets? He deceives those that are on the earth with miracles.
Even if somebody has lost both eyes, Jesus level technologies.
You know, I had the backup dancers. I ain't got the drummers and that.
No.
I'm all about the blood. You know, we got to turn up.
The
You know,
blood?
It's all about rage
Blood.
and just like the.
Who's bleeding on stage?
I mean, you know, I'm not bleeding, but the fans are like
I feel you.
giving their bodies. So it's like,
They did not teach you about this crazy history in school. This is a picture of Bill Clinton shaking John F. Kennedy's hand when he was 17 years old. St. Lawrence stunned his executioners because as he was being roasted alive over a blazing grill, instead of screaming in agony, he decided to say a joke. According to the tradition, he said, "Turn me over, I'm done on this side." And then his last words after that were, "It's cooked enough now." The peak of American consumption of alcohol was somewhere in the 1830s, where an average American averaged 4 shots of whiskey a day, which used to cost under a penny. This is a photo of someone who participated in the Boston Tea Party at 89 years old in 1842. This is an alternate angle of Obama announcing the passing of Osama bin Laden. You can see that the cameraman is literally wearing an NFL jersey. I think that probably goes to show how quickly this all came together. Ancient Egyptians actually believed that women's ability to create life reflected divine power. You know what? We should take a lesson or two from that. Thank you, women. Girl dad of 2. Cannot complain about the powers that women have to create life. Thanks, wifey.
What would happen if everybody received $1 million? So a massive percentage of the world would quit their jobs immediately, which would cause societal infrastructure to halt within 24 hours, with essentials like food and water being disrupted from workers down the supply chain quitting. By magically adding $8 quadrillion to the economy, hyperinflation would occur, so within a few days, the price of basic necessities would surge to tens of thousands of dollars. Cash would also completely lose its purchasing power, so for instance, nobody would sell their homes for cash, even though there would be thousands of bids. But regardless, there's not enough supply anyways to keep up the amount of people that would want to buy homes. Regardless though, in a couple of weeks, the economy would completely reset to a baseline where the new money would buy the exact same amount of goods as it previously did, meaning that everyone would technically be a millionaire, but nobody would actually become rich. However, things would look a bit different if you were to redistribute the wealth so that everybody had $1 million and you take it from the 1%. And in that case, there would be an instant stock market crash, ruining retirement accounts, pension funds, and the global financial system, since it's only possible to fund this endeavor by liquidating rich people's stocks. But even so, after just a few years, things will be exactly back to where it was pre-$1 million give out, since the economic system would remain the same. So now you know.
Guys, robots inside of the Great Pyramid just reached a stone door that nobody has gone through in over 4,500 years. And Egypt is currently saying that they're finally about to open it this year so they can see what's behind it. So actually, a few years ago, scientists scanned the Great Pyramid with cosmic rays, which are basically like an X-ray, and they found a hidden corridor that nobody even knew was there. They're saying that the corridor is about 30 feet long and it's actually sitting right above the main entrance. At the end of it, they're saying that they found a stone door that no human has ever walked through in history, and Egypt is finally going in this year to be able to open it. They already went and slipped a tiny camera through a gap that they found in the stones just so they could see the first look of what's inside. Guys, if you want to make sure that you do not miss it whenever they finally open that door, you need to make sure you go ahead and add me now, because I'm obviously gonna post it. And whatever they find back there, they're saying that it could rewrite entire history for how the pyramids were built. If you want to make sure you do not miss it, again, make sure you add me now, because I'm obviously gonna post it.
I don't think basketball should be under entertainment. I think like 4 or 5 years ago, they made it entertainment. I think it should be a sport. I think it should be real. Like, I love, like, basketball is my life, bro.
Why would Malik Beasley say something like that right there? That basketball is now entertainment, and that he wishes that it was real. What is going on here, you all? Because he just got in trouble for illegal betting and other stuff. So what exactly is going on here? The fact that he would come out and say he wishes basketball was real and not classified as entertainment, something weird is going on here, you all. And this man made a lot of bizarre plays when he was actually playing, letting people pass him to score, going down to score as the game was already decided, and the list goes on the weird things that this man would do. But remember, he's saying that he wishes that basketball was real again and not entertainment. If that doesn't show you that the NBA is as scripted as the WWE and as fake as the WWE, I don't know what will.
I definitely have a ton of evidence on my channel that shows that the NBA, or the majority of sports for that fact of the matter, might be scripted. So it's not too far off to believe what he's saying and take it in that context. So tap in and let me know what you think about it. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate you for tapping in on this beautiful Sunday. If you haven't already, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me. Hit that hype button and subscribe if you're not already part of the iTrack fam. And I appreciate you for always tapping in, man. And I'll catch you on the next one.